What's up, Mike here. So I want to walk you through something really cool that our CEO put together. We have been looking for ways to engage in more client conversations with our clients and really arming everybody on our team with the skill set, the ability to start conversations with clients that lead into more sales opportunities. So it doesn't matter if you're just an agency of one or you have a team, these sales conversation starters are going to be super useful. Now, if you do have a bigger team, this is a way that you can kind of arm your team with some different ideas and perspectives around how to suggest that the clients maybe take advantage of some other things that the agency can help them out with. So what I'm going to do in this video is just walk you through this clip out of the presentation that we put together so you can kind of see kind of what we're talking about here. So I love our CEO, Lily, because she is really good at helping the different types of people on our team understand the context or see like how they fit in, because sales can be uncomfortable, right? Especially we're kind of brought up in this culture where like there's a stigma around selling. We've had to change that in our businesses. We've had to look at sales as something where when I sell something to a client, that gives me the opportunity to help their business, right? As opposed to that kind of used car salesman, kind of snake oil salesman that we kind of get brought up seeing as a bad thing. That sometimes, ourselves or members of our team can look at anything involved in that sales process is like something they want to avoid, which is why somebody on your team or maybe you seeing an opportunity to help a client, maybe you avoid bringing it up because it just feels awkward. So these are all in service to spotting different ways to do that. And the way that she's done this is really kind of clever. Because I find that there's two types of people, right? So there's these, action superheroes that, you can bring one of these guys along with you because what you're doing is you're showing up as a hero for that client by suggesting some of these ideas. You're a hero, right? And you're helping their business in some way. And then just to contrast that, maybe you're a friend, right? Bring one of these guys along that you're being a friend to the client and, being on their team and being that kind of warm inspiration, right? And I think each of us are kind of drawn to one versus the other. There's folks who are like, yeah, I want to be the hero. I'm going to help them do all this great stuff. And there's other folks who are like, I want to be a friend. I want to serve them. And so you'll see some overlap between these different conversation starters, but understand that like the same conversation starter, you can be a hero and you can be a friend, right? And I think that depending on what you resonate with, like I'm probably more of the Sesame Street guy, right? Than I am, the superhero. I mean, I think these are, so you guys are going to laugh at me because I'm not sure what franchise these are from. I'm not even sure I know who like two of these, maybe three of these people are here. So don't laugh at me, but I think that, for me, like, I'm like, yeah, I want to be your buddy. I want to be your friend. And I'm going to like do good by you by bringing these things up. But that's totally cool if you're more on this side where it's like, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be your hero. I'm going to be your advocate. I'm going to save you type of thing. So let's just go through these columns really quick so you can kind of get a sense of what we're talking about here. So these are conversations that come up in just working with clients. Like you might be talking to a client through a project. There might be time a client comes in. You might be interacting with a client by email or by chat, by text. Maybe they stop by your office or you guys are meeting for coffee. These are the kind of things that you can kind of share with them or start conversations with them around ways that you can help them. All right, so let's go through this first one here. So show a new data report alongside the thing that they raised their hand for. So a lot of times our clients are raising their hand, asking us for stuff, asking us for data on what it is that we're doing for them or some information about their account, right? Well, a lot of times we can use that as an opportunity to figure out what else we can show them. So maybe they came in because they wanted to see some information about the traffic on their website. But while they're there, why don't we say, hey, I also have some data about where you guys are ranking in the local area, and I can show you a grid of that. So bringing in some other reports, maybe the stuff that they didn't ask for, that could start a conversation about other services that you could provide. All right, pitch, a la carte items, payment engine, case studies, promos. So what are the things that you offer that maybe they're not currently taking advantage of? So one of the things that we sold for years and years was actually setting up a payment form on somebody's website. So they collect credit cards, they collect payment from their clients, but why can't that client of theirs go to their website and make a payment on an invoice there? So that's something that we can easily charge, $1,000 to $2,000 to set up and get it going and training on all that stuff. And it's a nice little upsell, and the client just didn't know that was a possibility of something we can help them with. There's lots of little services that can add up to be really significant. You just need to bring them up. All right, so what's new in their biz, and is that accurately reflected on their site or in their digital marketing? So it might just be asking the client a question. So, hey, what's new in business? What's going on? What are you guys focused on? What are the things that are important to you right now? What's something you're doing now that you weren't doing, a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? Where's your attention? Where's your focus? Where are you excited? And are those things accurately reflected on their website? Are those same messages accurately reflected inside their digital marketing campaigns? And so what I find is that there's oftentimes a gap between what's happening now and what's actually being run. So just bringing that up to your client is an easy way to figure that out. Celebrate milestones in their digital marketing reports and their growth. So this is a huge one. It's easy for us to skip past the celebration mode when we reach page 1, when we reach a certain subscriber count on our email list, when we reach the goals that we set out to, when we get enough 5-star reviews to move us from a 4.5 star to a 4.9 star. What are those milestones that you can pull out and celebrate with them? And those are great opportunities to figure out what other services that you can offer. A deeper dive on keywords or pay-per-click or doing like an SEM rush report. You guys have access to some of the coolest tools that are out there that most of your clients don't even know exist. SEM rush is a great example of that. It gives us data about what's happening online for searches that clients would just love to see. So what are the tools? What are the things that you can use that you can say, hey, client, let me show you this thing. Let me give you a little taste of what this is all about so you can get excited about it. They can get excited the way that you are about that same data. Again, a great opportunity to stir conversations around sales. Competitor data and pull in the Google My Business grid. So one of the things that our businesses that we work with are often thinking about, even though they might not bring it up to you, is what's going on with their competitors. So just like you can do an evaluation of your client's business, you could do some of those same evaluations on their competitors and help them get some insight into what's working well for them or where your client might be stronger. These are great opportunities to turn conversations into more services that you can offer. Geofencing and billboard and boomerang campaigns. So the idea of being able to target a specific geographic area online might be obvious to you, but you'd be surprised how many business owners don't truly understand the power of geofencing and creating online advertisements for their businesses. They know that there's ads out there, but they may not understand the specifics of how it works and the targeting associated with that. So just taking some time to not assume that the client already knows what this is all about and giving them an opportunity to show, giving them an opportunity to see what it is that you can do is, again, another way to start a conversation with a client around the services that you can provide. All right, let's take a peek at my other buddies here, the Sesame Street gang. Let's bring along a friend. This is just kind of a different approach than the hero approach we just took. So educate them on persona and buyer cycle information, help them understand how their services apply. So understanding what mode a buyer is in, what are the different types of people that might be visiting their website, that might be interacting with their ads, and helping them understand how the services that they offer might be relevant to that particular person at that time, right? For example, somebody who's a new home buyer, there's certain services that they need versus somebody who's been in their house for 5 or 10 years. The same carpet cleaning company might be able to service both of those types of buyers, but there might be different messaging or different kind of ads that we might use in order to speak to the needs or the concerns of the person in that period of time. A great way to educate clients about some very simple things around advertising to stir some conversations around the services that you can provide. All right, explain the trust tipping point and the run their website through an assessment. Now, the trust tipping point is a concept that we came up with. Is the idea that everything in marketing and everything on a website and anything that you put out there is ultimately leading someone to get more and more and more and more trusting of your business, right? So a lot of clients wonder why they don't get hired for a job. And I'd pose that the reason why is that there wasn't enough trust in that business that they were going to do the job they say they were going to do compared to the price or the investment that was asked to be charged. So if we look at a client's website and say, well, what's going on? Is this website actually giving the proper amount of cues to someone who might be looking at it in order to make sure that they actually trust that business? So some simple things that we can make sure, number one, is including reviews and testimonials and making sure that that website actually includes those things, making sure that we share the stories and make sure that people understand that this is a real human business. This isn't some big corporate entity that you're dealing business with. What are the cues that a website should have, or any other marketing that they're doing that's including more and more trust, and how can we make the person who's considering that client's business to hire them more trustworthy. All right, Thanos Snap. Do you own your email list, or what are you doing to grow it? So again, I'm not a big superhero fan, but my understanding is with the Thanos Snap is that they put all the rings in the glove and they snap, this superhero snaps his fingers and like half of everyone dies, right? In one thing. And the reality is that when it comes to Facebook advertising and all the advertising we do out there, at any moment, regulations could change, prices could change, that change the way that we currently get in front of our clients and customers. Ultimately, the number one thing that you can do in order to ensure that your business is stable is to own your own client database, right? Because nothing could really stop me from emailing someone compared to Facebook can one day, regulations could decide that I suddenly can't target my customers anymore. And we've seen elements of that already happening, for example, with Apple and the iOS 14 release, that suddenly we have a lot less ability to track online than we used to be able to do. And that's a big win maybe for consumers, but it's a big blow to businesses, especially local businesses who are hurt by their ability to actually target the people who could buy their services. So the biggest thing that we can do to help our clients is ask them, like, do you keep an email list, and what are we doing to grow it? That'd be some way that we can kind of be a friend to them and say, hey, what are some ideas that we can use to grow your email list so that you continue to have the ability to target your customers under any market conditions. All right, 7 ways to position your offer. So a lot of times the first way that you position the offer, the thing that we're going out to market to sell, is the one that we stick with forever. So how can we change the offer? What ways can we give different ways to position what it is we do? How can we just describe it for different people? How can we look at the different types of buyers that might be buying the service from your client, and how can we shift the offer? How can we position differently so that way we can have it be appealing to different types of audiences? So looking at their offers and saying, well, what other ways could we position this, and how can we make this appealing to a different audience? All right, the 3 types of paid campaigns. So similarly with this is like, what are the different types of campaigns that you might be going after? Are you going after someone who is looking to create more leads? Are you looking for someone to create more awareness? Or are you looking for someone that maybe has already found you to come back from a retargeting campaign? And helping clients see that, okay, maybe you're only just targeting one of those right now, but how can you be doing more of that? All right, awareness, consideration, and purchase. So helping your clients understand that there are different phases that people might be showing up to their website or into their marketing. Some people are going to be in the awareness phase, right? They're just trying to figure out who in the market does that service, who is under consideration, right? That they've actively have picked a few different vendors and maybe they're trying to narrow it down. And then who is in the purchase phase where they're ready to make their decision and decide that. So thinking about from when it comes to the website or marketing that you're doing is what kind of ads can we be running for someone who's looking in the awareness phase or in the consideration phase or in the purchase phase? What kind of things and elements can we include on a website or in our email marketing that's going to address people in those different phases, okay? And helping a client understand that those are the different things that we can help them with. And then finally here on this page, how many of your customers are on Facebook or searching on Google or in a particular zip code? Super powerful to be able to show up to a client and say, hey, did you know, I was looking on Facebook and there's actually 4,500 homeowners within this particular zip code that all have a pool, right? You'll be able to look at the data and be able to bring our clients some of this information. Or did you know that last month there was over 1,500 searches for this one particular keyword that I know that you might be interested in appearing for? So letting them know the data to help them, be their friend, say, hey, this is an opportunity, right? Like if you saw your friend missing out on an opportunity, would you bring it up to them? And that's the kind of idea here. All right, just going to round this training video out with a couple final conversation starters to make it really easy. Because all the things we just talked about are all great to engage in once you're already engaged in the conversation. But how do you get to those conversations initially? Well, number one is, hey, it's time for your biannual check-in or your monthly check-in or your quarterly check-in. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. If there's somebody that you've done business with in the past, just call them up, send them an email. Hey, it's time to meet, right? When your dentist says it's time for your appointment, you go to your appointment, right? When it's time for your haircut, you go to that, right? So just call them, let them know it's time to review some things, and these are the kind of things you can kind of cover with them. With pandemic, that became an opportunity to have a conversation with clients around how has that market condition helped or hindered their business. For those that it helped, they're flush with more cash, and we can help them invest that in ways that helps them get even more out of their business right now. Awesome. For those that's hindered, well, guess what? In digital marketing, we can help clients create more customer activity. That's our job. We don't buy into the idea that a business in an economy that isn't working doesn't have the ability to make investments to make it better. Now, of course, there were situations where businesses were shut down altogether, and hopefully in our lifetimes we won't see that again. But in any condition, whether that be a downturn or recession, there is an opportunity for businesses like ours to help the ones that are out there build a bigger, better business. So use that as an opportunity to start a conversation around what's going on in the world, what's going on in the community, what's happening in the current market that's impacting your business in a way that we can come and be the person to help. All right. Finally, number 3. So we have developed a bunch of valuable custom reports. Have you received all of them? So we actually have different reports, and you guys can create these same types of reports for your clients that give those clients data. So what does their current GMB, their Google business profile look like? What do their competitors look like? Have they optimized every aspect of that? And should we go in there and look at that? What keywords, right? Doing keyword research reports like we just talked about. What keywords are they ranking for? Which ones are they not? Where is their volume? Where is their missed opportunity? Same kind of idea around pay-per-click. What are the opportunities to actually pay to be in some of those key areas? Or even something as simple, are they bidding for their brand term? Maybe their brand is being searched enough that it makes sense to actually pay for some ads for that as well. How about their review and reputation? What are their actual 5-star ratings? Are they answering negative reviews? Are they looking as good as they can everywhere online? Doing a calculator and targeting different zip codes. What is the business opportunity or the size of the market by targeting different people digitally online geographically? What is the domain authority of your current site? Like, what are the different directories where you should be, where you could be placed to help with local SEO? And then also something that's really cool is just like showing them the Google Business Profile Insight reports. Like, a lot of business owners, maybe they know they have a profile or they don't, but a lot of them just aren't looking at that data. And what does that data actually show them and give them some encouraging ideas around what's possible to grow that as well? So each one of these reports is a reason to reach out to a client and say, hey, did you get this report? Did you want a copy of that? I could put this together for you, and leveraging that to start a conversation. So starting conversations doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be weird. We can just simply dangle these different ideas around clients and just get them talking about their business, get them talking about the things that we can help with, and turn that into an opportunity to increase the services that may already be working with us, or even to a stranger on the street that we're just talking to that we can offer these same ideas to and create an opportunity to sell our services. Hopefully that was helpful. It's been insanely useful for our team, and I know it can be for yours as well.